Hello, welcome to Mr. B's Ukulele channel. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy watching. Okay, this is the tutorial video for No Matter What. Now this is it's a very fast flowing piece, so it's quite a challenge in that sense, but all the chords are relatively easy. So once you get your head around the speed of the piece and like I said, the sort of the flowing of it, there's nothing too challenging about this one. We'll start by looking at the strumming patterns, as that's where the real difficulty lies, and then we'll have a look at the chords, which are relatively straightforward, and then I'll just go quickly through the layout of the piece and a bit of a demonstration. Okay, so the main chord that it starts on is G, so there's a lot of G's in this one, and we'll play the strumming pattern on the G. So it's effectively a down up, down up. But it's a little bit more subtle than that, because towards the end of it the passage is a double up. See if you can spot it. And it's actually, if you imagine 8 down ups, it's actually on the 7th one, it's a double up. So if I count that with you, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8. The 7 is the double up there. So just do that a few times with me on a G and you'll get used to that. Okay, so have a good look at that, because you need to be really secure on playing that before we have a go at this song. Now then, the chords are relatively simple. I'll just talk you through some of those. But an important thing to keep in mind is, because the strumming pattern is so long, the chord actually changes sometimes in the middle of the strumming pattern. So unlike some songs where we do one strumming pattern per chord and it's relatively simple to get your head around, this one you've got to get used to the chords changing sometimes mid-pattern. So I'm going to start off, starts on a G, just as a bit of an introduction. Then the first couple of lines, it's G, the first verse rather, G, A minor, D, G, and you'll see how it changes mid-pattern. Have a look at that. In fact, I'll sing along so you can see exactly how the melody fits in as well. No matter what they tell us, no matter what they do, no matter what they teach us, what we believe is true. So you can see the pattern is only halfway through when you change the chords. So you've really got to get used to that. Let's just do that one more time. No matter what they tell us, no matter what they do, no matter what they teach us, what we believe is true. Now once you get your head around the way that strumming pattern works with the chords, the rest of the piece follows exactly the same pattern and is relatively easy to follow. So there's quite a few verses, and then in between we've got, well, not after every verse, but after every couple of verses you've got the chorus. And the chorus uses different strumming patterns again, so I'm going to sort of talk through the chords and the strumming patterns at the same time. So it starts on a G, the chorus, and then goes into a G7. I can't deny what I believe, I can't be what I'm not, I know our love's forever, I know no matter what. And you've basically got two lines of different patterns, and then the third and the fourth line of the chorus go back to the original pattern. And if you look at the sheet music I've written, I've done a star and a double star on the first and second line, so you can relate to the different patterns on those two lines that we need to try and use. So the first line uses a single star pattern, which if you have a look is down, down, up, up, down, up. So simply, I can't deny what I believe. Just a simple down, down, up, down, up, G to G7. And then the second line on the C is the double star pattern, which is down, up, down, up, up, down, up, which you might realise is the second half of our original pattern. So on the C, I can't be what I'm not. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then the third and the fourth line from the A minor just go back to the full pattern. I know our love's forever, I know no matter what. So that's the chorus. Relatively easy, but just tricky to get. Make sure you've got those 3 different patterns, one after the other, and that's really the hard bit you need to look at and work on. Okay, so the layout of the piece, well, it's actually really straightforward, because if you look at the sheet music, I've just written it completely. One verse flows after the other. There's no repeated sections. I've written it all out for you. So you've got verse 1, verse 2, chorus, verse 3, verse 4, chorus, verse 5, and then there's like a double chorus at the end, which I then repeat. So the bit in bold at the end of the piece we do twice. And that's it, really. I'm just going to finish off by giving you a demonstration of the final double chorus into the ending with a nice slowing down at the end. Here we go. No matter if the sun don't shine or if the skies are blue, no matter what the ending, my life began with you. I can't deny what I believe, I can't be what I'm not. I know this lasts forever, I know no matter what. Okay, it's a great piece, no matter what, a really fantastic piece. I also just want to finish with this quote by Andrew Lloydy Webber, which is all about being willing to make mistakes and never giving up, which when I try and teach the ukulele at school, and obviously when you start out in the ukulele making loads of mistakes on the chords, it's the message I try and put across to my students all the time. I think this is a great quote from Andrew Lloydy Webber, really underlying the importance of that message. So enjoy the piece, enjoy the quote, and do take care. Thank you.